Guess who's back? Hey, hey, y'all, I'm back. And welcome to Shade and the City. Okay. I'm your girl Treese. And yes, I am back for episode 73. This is season 1 of Beyond the Gates. This is Friday's episode, which would be today. All right. So I'm hopefully gonna get this out to you guys. And so hopefully it won't be a Saturday special. Nels is on her way over here. So when she get over here, it tends to be hard to edit and do stuff because she's a whole distraction. Okay. I mean, I love my big sis, but she's a whole distraction. So if I don't get this out to tomorrow, I apologize. But yeah, y'all, if you haven't already, please make sure you hit that like button and make sure if you haven't already that you go ahead and subscribe. If you've been hiding in the bushes and you've been watching the content and you've been coming here every day to watch the recaps, just go ahead and subscribe. Okay. And if you really feeling the vibe, please go ahead and join the membership. It's a whole good time. We have a live every weekly, every Thursday, where you can come up, give your own opinion, speak, and we, like minds, we talk. Okay. All right. And the link is in the description box for all those that are interested. Okay. But yeah, let's get into episode 73 and let's get shady, y'all. Okay, so as we know, last episode, I believe it was episode 72, we realized that Chelsea has decided she's moving back into her mother's house, which is so crazy to me because remember, she was trying to get as far away from her mother as possible. But okay, girl. So Kat and Chelsea have moved into Danny's studio room, and Tomas is helping them move some, or I guess guest house, which is also the studio room. So Tomas is helping them move some things in, and Kat is bringing up how this new arrangement is going to be, complicated living situation. Excuse me. So she's like, we're going to be working, living, hanging out together. However, we're going to be sleeping in separate bedrooms because what happens in mine needs to remain private. And, your family can be a little bit nosy, girl. And I thought this was a cute moment because Kat was like, you're my family. What are you talking about? But anyway, I knew what she meant. Because that's as soon as she said that, Danny comes in apologizing for being late when she almost trips and Tomas catches her fall. So of course Danny's just cheesing all up in Tomas's face, okay? And Chelsea has to remind Tomas, hey, you remember my mama, right? Right, Danny? Yeah, that's my mama. And so Danny doesn't remember meeting Tomas. And Chelsea and Kat remind her that he was at Kat's birthday party, which I ain't even gonna hold you. I forgot that too. And he happens to work for Bill. And Daddy was like, well, you know what? Nobody's perfect, baby. It's okay. And then she said, well, you know what? I can offer you a very lucrative side hustle. Okay. So of course we know she's trying to recruit him as a model for her agency. And Tomas declines. He's like, nah, that's not how I roll. Okay. So Kat speaks up and lets Danny know that, he's on his way to making partner, ma'am. He good. He good. So she's still trying to convince him that modeling will be much more fun than working at that law office. And so he's like, you know what? Thank you so much, but I already got a lot on my plate. And that's when he decides that, you know what? It's time for me to go. So then he gives Kat a kiss on the way out. And so Danny is like, once he leaves, she's like, hold on. Can we trust him? No. Okay. And so Danny tells Kat, look, baby, you are our unicorn, okay? And it is imperative that we're mindful of, questionable people. Okay. And so Chelsea tells her, look, stop. Kat is happy. And so Danny tells her, well, Tomas better keep it that way or he'll be answering to me. So then they ask her, like, well, we want to pay rent. Like, what do you need from us? And Danny said, I don't want y'all money. I'm rich. What I need your money for? She said, but I do want something in exchange that's not monetary. And then she tells Chelsea that she want that picture of them that's sitting up on the wall so she can put it in the office of her agency. And Chelsea tells her, well, no. And I thought this was a sweet part or sweet scene where Chelsea tells her, no, she can't have it because that woman in the picture has, taught her everything she knows and helped mold her. And so of course this makes Danny happy. And it was cute. It was a really cute mother-daughter moment. And then Chelsea also explains that, she really wanted, um, after the Danny has helped the girls move in. But of course she does what she does best, and she's starting to get ahead of herself as far as designing, and we need to do this and we should do this. And so finally she's like, oh, the girls, they not really feeling it. And so Chelsea tries to smooth things over by saying, hey, mommy, I know you got I know you got a lot to do. You got a whole agency that you're working on. Um, and so Danny's like, look, I know you're trying to buttery me, but what do you need to say, girl? What do you need to say? Get it out. And so Chelsea explains, look, although you turned down the offer to come, work with us, I still want to be close to you because I need you basically. And so of course Danny gets excited about this, and she's like, I wouldn't have it any other way. And so that was a really cute moment. Now let's move on to Dr. 3M. She's at the hospital checking on Bill. She's like, just giving him some testing his range of motion is what she's doing. And he's giving her a hard time per usual, right? So she asked, or he asked her how he's like, how am I doing? And so she tells him, well, it wasn't bad. And Haley explains that, he's hoping that if obviously he progresses and is a good patient, that he can get out early. And so Bill warns Dr. 3M that, you know what, everybody got pressure points. So I just need to figure out what yours are so I can apply that pressure and you'll release me back into my life. I thought that was cute. I ain't even gonna hold you. And Dr. 3M lets him know the only way to do that is if he follows the plan that she laid out for him. So Bill tells her, you know what? I'm tired of listening to you. I want a second opinion. And so Haley said, look, stop giving this girl a hard time, and said, you know what? I got a plan that'll help get you motivated. So Dr. M is like, what y'all getting ready to do? Because y'all can't be having the sex in the hospital. That's nasty. She really says, well, what do you plan to do? Because I would like to know. So when I have all my other feisty patients, and Haley's like, well, it's a Bill special. It's secret. Okay. And so then we see that after Dr. 3M leaves, Haley dims the lights and she does a little slideshow for Bill. And this even includes a sonogram photo for him. And then she has AI photos of their kids' graduations. My notes say, yes, I said kids. And the point was to show Bill that he was still around for those moments. So Haley makes Bill promise to listen to the doctor so they can move forward and be able to hunch on each other once again. And, grow old together, but hunch on each other. Okay. Um, so then Vernon goes to meet Martin at the country club. This is what I was talking about. If you watch the last recap, this scene really bothered me. He shows, and he's too busy talking about Anita being in Chicago. Meanwhile, the creepy server is ear hustling close by. So as he's going on and about Anita and how proud he is, Martin finally says, okay, can I get a minute? I need to talk. I keep having these nightmares. I don't know what to do, and I don't know how to fix it. And he reveals that the dreams are now coming to him while he's awake. Okay. So he's like, look, I literally zoned out in the middle of a meeting, and I keep hearing the voice that says, let's see what colors your money. And I said, what the does that mean? Can y'all let me know? I'm a little young. I'm a little wet behind the ears still. Did I miss something? Is that an old time saying? Is that a casino saying? Because literally, I was trying to think about it, and I was like, what other color would the money be? Unless you at the casino and talking about chips? Like, confused. I'm confused, y'all. Help me out in the comments. I was so lost. So Martin tells him that he feels like he's losing his mind, basically, and admits that he did tell Nicole about the dream. So Vernon's like, oh, do you have any idea what you've done? And so Martin explains, I had to confide in somebody. And so Vernon's like, no, I'm the only person you're supposed to talk to about it. And so Martin was like, I haven't talked to Smitty about it. And he's like, and I feel like I'm losing my mind. And what am I supposed to do? We have kids. Like, so Vernon tells him that silence is how he protects them and everyone else he loves. I said, so you gonna let this man have a whole mental breakdown in order to keep this secret? Wow. Wow. That's all I can say. That was the first time I ever looked at Vernon and I said, wow. Is that what we're doing? Now, I already kind of had a side eye when I'm gonna call it what it is, sacrifice Danny's mental health to make her go to Bill's wedding to protect this boy. But the fact that Martin is telling you that he is struggling and you just tell him deal with it and shut up. Tell me if I'm reaching, y'all. Tell me if I'm overreacting to this. I thought this was crazy. He asked, so he's like, well, what did you tell your mother? And so Martin explains that, look, it was very vague. And, she gave me the names of some shrinks that I need to go see. And Martin said, but don't worry, because I ain't going to do it. And so Vernon tells him, look, you've done the impossible. Okay. And you've kept it under wraps for this long. And we didn't come this far just to give it up without weighing the repercussions. So Martin says, well, look, I just really don't know how much more I can take. And but he said, he doesn't want to let his grandfather down. So then the creepy server comes over to like refill Vernon's water, but Vernon kind of shoos him away. And Martin is like, what happens if it gets worse? Y'all, we'll get there. All right. Warning, warning. It's a DNA alert. Here we are. DNA. So Ashley tells Andre that Derek texts her and he wants to go on a date. Can I tell y'all? And shout out to Becca. We were on the Blue Sky today talking about this. Ashley and Derek's relationship, or maybe it's just her. She's childish. That's what it is. She comes off very childish, and that bothers me because we're an adult. And all right. I'm not gonna make them any longer than they have to be. I apologize, y'all, because I was getting ready to go on a tangent. All right. So yeah, so she feels like she's concerned that he may want to talk. And meanwhile, Derek is at Offer Jeans talking to Naomi. She's telling Andre she's overthinking, and she thinks that because Derek asked her out to a dinner, that means he must want to break up with her. So Andre is trying to get her to realize maybe your man just want to take you out. I don't know. Now, I will say this in her defense. Being in a relationship, you know your partner, you know when something is off. I'm going to give her that. Okay. However, I'm not going to assume just because maybe the vibe is off. Because you can break up with me over the phone. You could break up with me through a text message, through a 4-page letter, through a flare in the sky. Like, we don't need to go out to dinner for you to break up with me. So I just refuse to believe that people, and some people may do that. I know people that do, but I just refuse to believe that we're going to go out to dinner and you're going to spend a whole bunch of money for you to tell me that this ain't working out. We don't need to do all that. We can do that over coffee. Like, she's tripping, right? So, and while Naomi is talking to Derek, like, you sure you want to do this? You sure you want to do this? And they trying to play with us like we don't know what this is. And obviously we know what it is. He getting ready to propose to Ashley. And it'll be interesting what she say. And we'll get into it as we get closer to the end of the episode. Okay. And I'm gonna just leave that there because I can't. So Danny, oh, I'm sorry. Okay. So Ashley finally gets to dinner with Derek and he tells her that she makes him better. You make me better. I'm a movement by myself, but I'm a force when we're together. She makes it better. All right. And so then he gets down on one knee and proposes, and Ashley just sitting there looking shocked. because she thought she was coming for a breakup with a childish ass. But anyway, now we see Chelsea. She on the phone with Dr. 3M. They flirting. She asking her what she got on, what she wearing under that coat. Okay. And once she explains, Chelsea tells her, she'd love to see how she styled her outfit. So she's like, oh, so is this an invitation to your studio? So they agree to meet up after. And so Kat is ear hustling and said, oh, so I heard Dr. 3M might be making a house call. Okay. And of course, Chelsea, Chelsea's trying to downplay it as she does everything. Um, and so And then she brings up, well, girl, I was actually about to sneak off earlier, give you and Tomas some privacy the way he was looking at you like a whole snack. Okay. Um, and so then they slap fives, oh, we're gonna be power couples in the making. And so Kat's like, look, I gotta go meet Jacob down at the station to do my other job, my part-time job, my side hustle. Okay. And Chelsea, but she said, but if you and 3M decide to play doctor for real, just put a scarf on the door, okay, girl. I know how to get lost. All right. Um, and so then as she's getting ready to leave, Andre walks in looking for Danny, and Chelsea and Kat are looking at him crazy, like, well, what are you doing here? How'd you get in? So they're like, is there something you need to tell us? And so Chelsea tells him, it's cool. We all family. And so Andre makes it clear, no. I'm related to Ted, okay? Not the Duprees. And I said, well, just tell on yourself, brother. And so then Kat asked, well, are you sure that's nothing that you don't want to leave a message in a bottle for Danny? And he like, nah, I'm good. I'll just catch up with her later. And so Chelsea and Danny have a good laugh because, yeah, they done figured out that Danny and Andre are messing around. Now, Tomas happens to run into Danny at the hospital, and she asked Tomas if, are you keeping my niece happy? And, he's like, I think so, but you would have to ask her that. And she said, well, let me let you know something. Kat is like my daughter. Okay. And if you do anything to hurt her, you should seek employment in a different hemisphere. I said, woo, Danny and them threats. Okay. And so she's like, so do we understand each other? And Tomas said, yeah, I understand. And so then she walks into Bill's room, who's happened to be sleeping with Haley next to him, and tells him that she's there to talk about Chelsea and Kat, who was moved into her guest house. And then she starts rambling on about how happy she is. So then we cut back to the country club. Martin tells his grandfather, I've never questioned how much you love me, and I feel bad for everything I've put, you and grandma through. And so Vernon assures him that, look, it's not your job to worry about us. He says that I just need you to be okay. And there's only one way that can happen. And Martin says, I know if I stay the course and I just let myself go mentally insane by keeping a secret. Then Vernon gets a call from Anita, and like a puppy dog in the window about to get picked, he runs out. I gotta talk to Anita, and I get it. They love each other. She's out of town, but I'm just like, your grandson literally just told you he's losing his mind mentally, and yeah, okay, what else, right? So then the creepy server comes to clear the table, and he's looking over Martin's shoulder as he's like in his phone, and then he comes up behind him and he says, so what color is your money? And Martin looks terrified, and that's the end of the episode, y'all. So yeah, what color is y'all money? Is it Monopoly money? I don't know what's going on. It's so confusing. All right. But let me know what you thought about this episode of Beyond the Gates. If you have not already, please hit that like button. Make sure that you guys comment. Make sure you're subscribed and you hit the notification bell. Make sure you're following us on all the platforms. That's the Blue Sky, TikTok, IG, and the Facebook. Don't forget, going live, the Really Shady panel with our girl Really BTV reviews on Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be doing the Never Ever Mets. Keep an eye out. We're also going to be doing BMF Sunday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So y'all look out for that as well. And for all my fathers out there, grandfathers, uncles, anybody that plays a fatherly role, stepfathers, thank you for what you do and all you do. And happy early Father's Day. Y'all have a great, wonderful weekend. Be safe. Bye-bye.